For years, Mars has been humanity's silent neighbor, a world explored through cameras, sensors, and robotic emissaries that whisper back data across millions of kilometers of space. But recently, one of those machines, NASA's Perseverance rover, captured something it was never meant to witness. In a faint, blurry frame taken from the Martian surface, scientists noticed a ghostly light hovering against the crimson sky. Initially, it resembled a distant star. But it wasn't. It moved slowly, deliberately. It was 3I Atlas, the enigmatic interstellar object that has defied every law of astrophysics since its discovery. What had started as an innocuous-seeming photo turned out to be a revelation so shocking that the scientists at NASA fell into stunned silence. That picture hid the signs that challenged everything we currently know about light, matter, and the thin line between the natural and artificial. It was no longer a question of what the rover saw, but why 3I Atlas appeared right there above Mars, as if for someone to see. The encounter began with an almost accidental capture, a faint smudge beside a handful of dim stars. The Mastcam-Z camera aboard Perseverance recorded it a single Martian day before 3I Atlas reached its closest approach to the planet. At first, researchers dismissed the anomaly as glare or a cosmic ray strike. But subsequent frames confirmed movement. The object wasn't stationary. It was gliding, aligning almost perfectly with astronomers' predictions for its position. This was no coincidence. Even stranger were the events unfolding around the rover in that instant. Dust devils suddenly rose across the Martian plains, atmospheric pressure readings spiked, and a storm began forming on the horizon just as the object passed overhead. The timing was uncanny. Even skeptics fell silent when, against all expectation, Perseverance's sensors recorded subtle electromagnetic disturbances matching the object's coordinates. This wasn't a passive object. Unlike any unexplainable phenomenon seen before on Mars, this entity seemed to respond to observation. A startling discovery came back as data from Perseverance and orbiters arrived. Sunlight behaved differently around 3I Atlas. Instead of scattering randomly, it twisted, polarized, and bent along invisible patterns. Polarization, the alignment of light waves reflecting off dust or gas, was extreme, far beyond what had been recorded for comets or asteroids. It suggested either unknown materials or a deliberately structured surface. Some even speculated that the light wasn't reflected at all, but rather emitted from within, like a silent beacon masquerading as sunlight. For the first time, the universe didn't just illuminate an object, the object seemed to illuminate itself. Leaked data from Mars orbiters hinted at the object's shape: elongated, structured, controlled, not spherical like a comet, nor irregular like a typical rock. It resembled Oumuamua, the first interstellar visitor that baffled scientists, but this time the details were sharper. 3I Atlas wasn't tumbling chaotically. It moved steadily, purposefully, its tail appearing briefly in a faint, narrow thread unlike anything ever observed and then vanishing again. The object's trajectory was far from random. It followed the ecliptic plane of the solar system, as if deliberately aligning itself with the planet's geometry. Avi Lowe and his team analyzed the anomalies, dividing them into two categories: those that might eventually be explained, and those that likely never would. Among the latter were two coincidences that shook the scientific community. First, the timing: 3I Atlas cruised near Mars, Venus, and Jupiter in a pattern that was too precise to be coincidental. Second, its trajectory: its entry to the solar system aligned within 9 degrees of the WOW signal. The famous 1977 radio outburst once speculated to have originated from an extraterrestrial intelligence. Was 3I Atlas related to that decades-old mystery? Or was it responding to it? Mass calculations revealed a chilling truth: the object weighed over 33 billion tons, far too large, dense, and perfectly balanced to have formed naturally in interstellar space. Maybe, scientists began to fear, 3I Atlas wasn't born among the stars at all. Maybe it had been sent. Spectral analysis from Perseverance showed that dust surrounding 3I Atlas behaved unlike anything known. Instead of chaotic tumbling, the grains interacted with sunlight in organized micropatterns that shifted as the object approached Mars. Polarized light pulses occurred at intervals mirroring the Martian day-night cycle. This wasn't synchronization. It was imitation, as if 3I Atlas were observing and adjusting its luminous signature to its environment. As researchers studied this optical behavior, the Sun intervened. A massive coronal mass ejection reached the object, and it vanished. Not destroyed, simply gone. Mars orbiters lost contact within seconds. Days later, Perseverance began recording subtle electromagnetic echoes from the Martian soil, pulses matching the light patterns observed earlier. 3I Atlas had left a signature, embedded not in the sky, but in the red dust of Mars. Before its disappearance, Earth-based observatories detected mathematical sequences in the light, prime numbers, Fibonacci intervals, the golden ratio, repeated across a three-dimensional field outlining the Martian orbital plane. 3I Atlas wasn't merely reflecting sunlight, it appeared to be transmitting information, using Mars as a relay. Trajectory simulations revealed an incredible geometric alignment with Mars, Venus, and Jupiter in a trispiral pattern, an ancient symbol also depicted in Earth cave art. Extended further, the path pointed toward the origin of the WOW signal. If its motion were calculated, not random, then that signal from 1977 may not have been a message, it could have been a countdown. As Mars orbiters regained contact, instruments picked up a faint aurora-like shimmer above the northern hemisphere, pulsing every 147 seconds, synchronized with the previous electromagnetic readings. Light reflections across the Martian surface created triangles, arcs, and spirals, as if leaving instructions or maps. Some theorists suggested that Mars itself acted like a mirror, reacting to the object's passage. James Webb observations revealed carbon-based molecules along the object's tail, hyperorganized into lattice structures, resembling synthetic nanomaterials and neural pathways. 3I Atlas wasn't a rock or comet, it acted much like a thinking structure, capable of data encoding and interacting with its environment. A low-frequency hum was detected on Earth, harmonized with Mars's electromagnetic cycle, echoing the object's light pattern. The signal adjusted to Earth's orbit, implying awareness of both planets. Humanity had become, unwittingly, part of a cosmic feedback loop. Further anomalies were revealed with Perseverance, faint markings in the Martian soil forming an interconnected grid, a star map beyond the heliosphere toward the galactic core, beginning beneath a magnetically rich ancient basin. Mars was no longer passive, it had been activated and 3I Atlas held the key. Thermal, seismic, and magnetic anomalies spread across the Martian surface, synchronizing with the object's patterns. Dust storms spiraled into hexagonal formations, the magnetosphere shows bursts of coherence, and rhythmic pulses echoed across Earth's magnetic field. Animals shifted behavior, and Schumann resonances changed, all in sync with the Martian and 3I Atlas signals. A mirrored object appeared near Venus, a negative light counterpart to 3I Atlas, moving in perfect synchrony with the signals between Earth and Mars. Its spectral signature absorbed nearly all visible radiation, targeting Earth's rotation, seemingly marking our planet. Humanity was no longer just observing. We were now part of its design. 3I Atlas, once a faint blur, had become a key, a construct awakening planetary systems that predate human understanding. Signals from deep interstellar space echoed the same trispiral pattern, returning toward Earth. The universe wasn't silent. It was responding. The first image from Perseverance had been more than a discovery, it had announced humanity to a listening cosmos. The question isn't anymore what 3I Atlas is. It may be natural, artificial, a probe, or a trigger. What does come into question is what happens when its reflection reaches us. Was this just a comet passing through, or an invitation waiting billions of years to be seen? What do you believe? Was 3I Atlas a natural visitor from the stars, or the start of something far older, patient, and deliberate?